Hey, this is Brian. Welcome to my garage Bible study. Man, I'm coming down towards the end, like almost ready to try to make this roll. This 1978 Jeep CJ7 I've restored from the frame up. Everything has been off. Everything has been in my hands. And now I'm doing like the final stuff that if I forget it, it's going to be really, really bad. Like the coolant system. When that engine starts running and you've got pistons that are firing up there and you got valves, there's a lot of friction and a lot of heat. And so the coolant system runs antifreeze coolant, if you will, through channels in the engine block and cools it off. And then it funnels it to the radiator, and the radiator is the front of your vehicle. So as you're driving, wind is hitting the radiator as the coolant comes from the hot engine into the radiator, cools it off, and so it can shoot then cooler engine coolant back into the engine, and if you don't do that, your engine's gonna melt, and it's not good at all. In fact, when the water comes up, it elevates the temperature. It starts to steam and boil, and so therefore, I've installed this little hose that is it overflows. It shoots through here and shoots into your reservoir. So I got to top it off a little bit. So let's pour a little bit more in there here. I want to make sure I have enough. Oop, there I go. Of course I spilled it. There we go. All right. Very critical. You know, when I do things in this Jeep, it makes me think about things that I read in the Bible. One of the things Jesus says in the book of John, let me read it for you. John 7, verse 37. On the last day of the feast, the great day, Jesus stood up and he cries out. It's like, hey, I want to get everyone's attention. Want to make sure you get this. It's like Jesus would do this today because he sees people who are living life in not the best way, who are thirsty. Yeah, this is thirsty, water. Here it is. If anyone thirsts, let him come to me and drink. Man, are you thirsty? I don't know if I've ever seen America as dehydrated as it currently is. I think this is why we've got so much mental illness. I think this is why we have so much road rage. I think this is why we have so much rancor and polarization politically. I think it's why we have so much of just all kind of things, so much suicide, so much depression, anxiety. It's that we're dry. Our souls are parched. And Jesus says, come to me. I'll give you drink. Where in society does anybody actually get water? I mean, we are maybe the most hydrated society ever. I mean, I've never read as many articles as there are about water. Just 20 years ago, if you'd have told me or told you that people would buy bottled water, or 30 years ago, whenever it was, people were, what? You don't buy bottled water. That's crazy. And yet we do. Hey, better to drink bottled water and waste your money than not have any water. Sorry to tell you, the bottled water is exactly the same as coming out of your tap or the tap in the restroom in the third grade bathroom. Sorry. But we become water obsessed, the gallon challenge, all these things where all you do is pee all day long, whatever it is. And I think those things are all fine, but we're missing that our hearts need water. We have parched hearts. We're just very dry. We're not lush. We're not bringing forward the fruit known as the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, self-control. These things are the fruit, and fruit inside of our life has to have water. And who's the water? It's having a relationship with Christ. Let's keep reading here. He says this: whoever believes in me, as the scripture has said, out of his heart will flow rivers of living water. So as we come to God, he gives us water. He spiritually hydrates us. And as we walk with God and live with God, out of our heart goes water to other people. You should be a source for water in your neighborhood, in your office, in your family, in your friendship circles, in your business. You should be a source of helping other people out. The other day, I had a guy who delivered something to my house, delivery guy. I'd never met him before. And I could just tell that he was struggling. I could tell him he was a bit dehydrated. He threw me out some clues. I could read between the lines. And I started asking him about his life. And I asked him as we were talking at the end, I said, hey, this might sound kind of weird, but is it okay if I pray for you? He said, yeah, thinking I was going to pray at some point. Like we say that, I'll pray for you. And part of us goes, are you really going to pray for me? Are you going to forget about it? Are you going to forget about it? And I think he was thinking that. And I said, no, like right now. Can I put my hand on you and pray for you right now? What can I pray for you for? And he asked for prayer for a better job and recovering from a way of life. He had been in prison and he just needed to get his feet and just get to a next level. I could tell he was a little beaten down. So I put my hand on him, prayed for him. I don't think his life magically changed in that moment, but I know that he went away with a soul that was a bit less parched. We need to get to God, not because we're a bad person if we don't, not because we need to get all the rules and obey the rules. We need to get to God because we need the springs of living water. And we need to get around other people because they get to know God through us. We get to encourage them, comfort them, laugh with them, love them, tell them a joke, give them a good word of encouragement, whatever it is. You're the water delivery system that Jesus has on this planet. You need his water and you need to give his water. If I have no water, no coolant in this engine, it's going to shut down. And we have many people who are shutting down because they don't have the proper water in their life. That's what you need. That's what others need. That's a good word. Hey, we'll see you next time on My Garage Bible Study.